Hello, my friends. I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope you're doing the right thing. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying clean, healthy, and definitely putting hand sanitizer on to keep yourself germ free because right now I believe the epidemic is still going on, and I believe it's still spreading like you've never seen it spread before. So, whatever you do, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean, put some hand sanitizer on, and definitely stay germ free so you don't get caught by this epidemic. Because if you get caught by this epidemic, you're going to be just like what everyone is becoming right now, pretty much sick by it. So, please, like I said, stay safe, healthy, clean. Put hand sanitizer on. Definitely put hand sanitizer on, and stay germ free as ever. Please, that's the most important thing to keep yourself healthy and clean, and hand sanitized and germ free as ever, just to keep yourself alive as always. Just remember that. All right. So here's what I'm going to do today. It's about 5:06 a.m. in the morning. I figured I'd make another video with me reading my poems to you guys, just to keep you guys occupied and have your undivided attention. So I want to keep you guys. I want to get your minds off this epidemic thing while we're off, especially off. I want to get your mind off not only. I want to get your mind not only off the epidemic thing, but also off the whole quarantine era. So I want to read more poems to you guys so you can all feel very safe. Actually, I want to say very safe. I want to read more poems to you guys so I can get your minds off of what you're going through right now, so you don't have to keep worrying about what's still going on. Okay? So I'm going to read more poems to you guys just to get your minds off of things, and that you can enjoy the videos that I've been making lately, just to have you guys see for yourselves as you go on YouTube and watch what I've made these past few days. Alright, so give me 1 second. Alright, here we go. I wrote this poem based on last year's takeover event in the summertime where NXT went back to Toronto for the second time. Yep. And this one was known as NXT TakeOver Toronto Part 2. The first one took place in 2016 due to Survivor Series being in Toronto, but SummerSlam last year was going to Toronto to host their pay-per-view event, so that's why NXT returned to Toronto to host for their second event over there in the Canadian landscape. And let me tell you something, USA, UK, and Canada have one thing in common. All three countries love wrestling very much, especially Canada, because who says you can't invite Canadian wrestlings to the WWE or even NXT as ever? So that's why NXT returned to Toronto for their second event to host their second Toronto takeover event over there. And that's exactly what happened last year. We had a lot of incredible matches that happened in TakeOver Toronto, like the triple threat battle for the NXT North American title between the Velveteen Dream, the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, and the Undisputed Era's Mighty Enforcer Roderick Strong. We had Mia Yim taking on Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title. It was, as Shayna would call Mia, it was a street rat versus the submission magician. Yep. And we had the Street Profits defend their NXT World Tag Team Championships against the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. And also, we also had a grudge match between Tenacious C, Candice LeRae against the Japanese, I want to say the Japanese scary nemesis, Io Shirai, in a very dark grudge match. And also, the match that everyone was looking forward to was between, how can I say this? The Undisputed Era's clan member, the Undisputed Era's leader, Adam Cole, against Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, inside. Well, actually, the match between those two was for the NXT World Title, and the NXT World Title was in a was on the line in a match that involved the two of them going at. Well, actually, the match between those two was like a 3 stages of HELL match, where the first stage was normal. I believe the second stage was a street. Actually, yeah, the second stage was a street fight. And of course, the last stage took place inside a sealed cage, where weapons were pretty much on the cage as ever for them to go for and use against each other. I know how the battle ended when Gargano found himself sent through a table by Cole. Yeah, not to mention that Cole walked out of Toronto still as NXT World Champion. So I'm going to read you this poem, and the name of this poem is based on NXT Takeover. Yeah, the name of the poem is based on NXT's second Takeover event in Toronto. Yep, this poem is based on NXT Takeover Toronto Part 2, as I call this poem, Toronto's Takeover. Toronto is in for a treat, with everyone out of their seat. 2016 was a big bang that year. 2019 is phenomenal, as I hear. Wrestling is coming home to the Northern Land as NXT continues taking its stand. Canada is ready for a fight that will turn on the light. Gargano and Cole meet in the third round. Someone is getting planted to the ground. Mia Yim and Shayna Baszler prepare for battle, with the stinging rivalry being rattled. The Velveteen Dream is ready for a match against two dudes in the catch. The Canadian landscape is about to rock. Get ready for an NXT TakeOver shock. Toronto, get ready because wrestling is coming home. And allow me to show you of last year's logo of NXT Takeover Toronto Part 2, because this one was very phenomenal, and the logo I found for it, the picture I found for the logo went very good with the poem. That's right, NXT Takeover Toronto Part 2. Hang tight, my friends. I've got some more poems to read to you guys. All right, my friends. I found another poem that you guys may like, because it's based on a dude that Jason Statham played as in the films. He played a dude that was more like a messenger, and I want to say, as they show in every film, actually, he was not only a messenger, he was more like a mob courier. And he pretty much fought anyone that tried to come after him, trying to deliver a package to someone that needed something very badly. So, yep. This poem is based on a character that Jason Statham has been known for playing as, and has done a very amazing job as this dude. Yep. He was known in the films for playing as the Transporter, which my aunt and I fell in love watching very much. I remember watching the first one, then the second one, then the third one. And then in 2015, they kind of redid it with a different dude playing the Transporter. But Jason Statham was always my favorite one, because he was the original dude playing that. He was the original dude playing that Transporter. So, yep, he was known for playing Frank Martin, aka the Transporter. So, allow me to read this poem based on the film with Jason Statham playing this character. The name of the poem is called The Transporter. Frank Martin is a transporter who does his job when it comes to working for any mob. He is known for delivering a package, being sent with a message. He has his own personal rules set for people he has never met. The transporter means business for real. One of his rules is never change the deal. Many enemies try to get in his way, but Frank has a knack for making them pay. The transporter is always ready to defend something that's being sent. He travels in his car that takes him on a journey that very far. The transporter can tell there's a quest involving any special guest. You can tell his suit and tie never seem to lie. And when he gets a phone call, someone will be asking this question. I'm looking for a transporter, and he'll say these two words, I'm listening. So allow me to show you the picture of him answering the phone call, and he will pretty much say those two words. I'm listening. That's right, the transporter. Yep, Frank Martin, a.k.a. the transporter, played by British actor Jason Statham. And you may have seen him in last year's film with The Rock and as their characters in the film based on the Fast and Furious trilogy, Hobbs and Shaw, which was very amazing to watch. Yep, not only was it very amazing to watch, but it was also wonderful because I got to see my favorite WWE superstar, Roman Reigns, in it. That's right, The Rock's cousin. Yep. Samoan bloodlines. That's the best part about having a Samoan family. You're related to those that care about you very much. All right. Now, I know all sports have been postponed, eventually suspended because of the epidemic, but I was able to write one that I like very much. Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah. Why am I saying I'm gonna be honest with you? I'm just gonna say this right now. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna say this right now. I wrote a poem based on the NHL, the National Hockey League, and I have a very favorite hockey team. That's the Boston Bruins because Boston rules and has a very phenomenal hockey team that's always ready for a showdown as ever, especially on the ice rink. The Bruins are an amazing team, and I always enjoy watching them on television. I remember the first time I went to a Bruins game. It was last year in November, right around Thanksgiving. Actually, it was right. It was right where it was when Thanksgiving was right around the corner. Yep, I got to see him take on the Capitals. Even though we got beat, the best part was returning to Beantown, seeing everything, and pretty much watching a very good game. So yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I like basketball and all, baseball's good and all, even football and all. But I definitely enjoy hockey. And then there's wrestling. Definitely hockey. Because let's say hockey is phenomenal. There's always showdowns you will see on the ice ring. And plus, it's always witnessing a good time. It's always fun to have a good time at a hockey game where things are going good until a fight breaks, where things are always going good and good times and memories are being made as ever. So, here I go reading this poem called The NHL Universe. The Boston Bruins are a die-hard hockey team, which the fans love when they scream. The Philadelphia Flyers will never crumble. They love a very good rumble. The Detroit Red Wings are looking for a gut check while getting ready to wreck. The New Jersey Devils want a final stand that could lead them to never be disbanded. The Pittsburgh Penguins have a never say die gear as they look forward to a victory this year. The Ottawa Senators found something to create, a chance to open their fate. The San Jose Sharks are ready to Northern bite. You can sense their full despite. The Toronto Maple Leafs thrive on a battle, with the ice rink being rattled. The Dallas Stars will always be the same as they rise straight to fame. The Nashville Predators plan to severely scratch with a stinging catch. The New York Rangers are coming for a throwdown while going for the Stanley Cup crown. I'm going to show you the logos of all the NHL hockey teams that I have in this picture that pretty much went very good with the poem. And the reason I call this poem the NHL universe is because it reminds me of the WWE universe. So this is it. the NHL universe. Hey, here's the picture of all the hockey. Here's the picture of all the logos that represents the hockey teams. So there you have it, my friends. All right, hang tight. I believe I found another poem for us all to enjoy. Here's one I've written about because I love wrestling so much. I came up with this poem, and I have a feeling you guys may like this one. It's called Wrestle World. So allow me to read this to you. And it involves all the wrestlers I've seen in every wrestling landscape. When I say landscape, every wrestling company I pretty much watch, like Ring of Honor Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, now known as Impact Wrestling. You have what else? You have NXT, and also mostly and mainly WWE. So allow me to read this to you guys. And I may have seen some from New Japan Pro Wrestling as ever. Yeah, so allow me to read this poem to you guys. I have a feeling, and I believe you guys may like this one. Wrestle World. Seth Rollins has crossed the line. Kevin Owens is ready to grow a spine. Johnny Gargano is in action mode. Johnny Gargano is in action mode. His war with his war with Finn Balor will explode. Samoa Joe is bringing his killer submission hold. The one thing everyone has always told. Will Ospreay is coming this year with his brand new ring gear. Y2J Chris Jericho is on a phenomenal run. Not to mention he's having so much fun. Roman Reigns has entered the yard, standing his ground as an elite guard. Kenny Omega is entering a showdown, coming for an international top crown. Brock Lesnar is in for an unexpected treat. Against Drew McIntyre, he never defeat. Jeff Hardy is someone I really adore. I've seen his extreme matches before. Austin Theory flew over the top rope to aim at Roderick Strong, the back-breaking Pope. Humberto Carrillo pulled out a super kick against Andrade that was very quick. Only Lorcan walked into a fight involving Cameron Grimes that wasn't very bright. Pete Dunne took a crack at someone's hand. It was Damian Priestess during the stand. Everyone saw the returning Edge who brought back his wrestling pledge. Welcome to Wrestle World. And on the back of this, in this poem, I will show you the picture of a wrestling ring that I just found. There you have it, my friends. There you have it. All right. Oh, I believe there was another one I wanted to read you guys. This one is based on one of my favorite Marvel comic heroes. And I've been watching them since I was a child, since I was little, very little. Since I was little. And I loved them very much because they all had different powers that you've never seen before, especially when they were all mutants. And yes, this poem is based on my favorite Marvel comic hero group, heroic team, the X-Men. Yep, I remember watching the anime series and I loved every single character. I loved all of them. Yep, and I remember naming all the mutants that had powers and discovering where their powers came from in the first place. Even discovering who they were related to and also during those times. Yep, I loved all the mutants and all the characters, yeah. Especially their battles with Magneto and the Brotherhood as ever. Yep. Charles Xavier. He was the main reason they all came together as a team to stop those that wanted to do more than just show the world who they really are. They wanted to let the world know that they were just something you didn't. They were just something. They were just something that they wanted to do to pretty much rule over the world. And Charles Xavier, he wasn't the kind of dude that just wanted to rule over the world. He wanted to let the world know that they were just more than human. They were just mutants that were just looking to pretty much let the world know they were not a problem at all. So, allow me to read you this poem. X-Men. Charles Xavier had something special to create. A famous school no one could ever hate. Every mutant was always welcomed with care. A very special place with no scare. The X-Men were my favorite heroic team. I would watch them through the film stream. Stan Lee created magnificent characters very well. Every mutant had every mutant had abilities you could tell. Wolverine had claws, including the power to heal, a gift no one could ever steal. Storm can control the weather Storm can control the weather, I say. Her eyes tell how it's done in her way. I remember Cyclops shooting lasers out from his vision, even as he's on a mission. The X-Men played a very important role involving race. Everyone has a special gift to embrace. And here I go showing you the picture of the poem that represents the poem. Hold on a second. Alright, here we go. Keep it going. And there was one X-Men film that I pretty much enjoyed the most, that I loved very much all the way. It was X-Men 3: The Last Stand, because we got to see more mutants than you were mostly seeing in the anime series, like even on X-Men Evolution. We got to see Beast, we got to see Colossus. I know I've seen him before in the second one, but not mostly we never got to see most of him all the time in the second one. So we got to see him in the third one. What else did we get to see? We got to see Angel, yep. And we also got to see, I believe, that's pretty much the mutants I remember watching all the time, yeah. All the time that you would see in the anime series and then heading into the film. Yeah, so it was amazing. Yeah. That third one was very amazing. It was so amazing to watch and definitely enjoy as ever. So I'm glad I enjoyed the third one very much. Yes. And my friends, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find another one. Let's see. Let me see if I can find another poem for you guys to enjoy, and then this will do it for today, even though it's 5:27 now, 5:28 a.m. in the morning. But I figured I'd find another poem I find another poem to read to you guys, so you guys can get your mind off the epidemic incident that's still going on as ever. Here's one. I found one on a dude that was very phenomenal. Actually, why I keep using the word phenomenal? Here's a poem I found on a dude that was very famous in TNA wrestling. When he first came to TNA wrestling, he had an undefeated streak that no one could ever break, even when someone tried to defend their title against him. And AJ Styles, he put the X Division title on the line. He tried everything he could to defeat this dude and also break his undefeated streak. But this dude defeated AJ and also won his very first title, the X Division title. Also, not to mention, he kept his streak going as ever. Yep. He was undefeated for nearly a year until Kurt Angle broke it. But this dude, he was still undefeated because everyone noticed how strong, how dominant, and how relentless he was in TNA, especially in the X Division clan. So, this poem, he's now in the WWE, but he's kind of out with an injury, and we're not sure when he's going to come back. But we hope to see him return very soon. This poem is based on, let's just say, he has a nickname that you all may know very much. This poem is based on the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. Every time you see his name, you'll chant, Joe, 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 because you know how much of a a submission machine he really is, with his submission hold, known as the Quaquina Clutch. When I say the word clutch, I like to put some emphasis on it. Like, I like to say let's just say it in an accent you may know. So I pretty much go like this: the Quaquina Clutch. I just love doing that. So I'm going to read you this poem. It's called The Samoan Submission Machine. This dude, the Samoan Submission Machine, by the way, is based on Samoa Joe. Yes. The poem is on Samoa Joe. Yeah, so let me start over again. The Samoan Submission Machine. This dude has a killer submission hold that happens to be very cold. He calls it the Coquina Clutch. Watch him, never make a grudge. Coming to TNA was his quest, in search of a title to feel at best. He earned a nickname that was so sick, with his submission hold doing the trick. He would lock it straight in, while securing a merciless win. Samoa Joe enjoys making someone tap. It's his way of putting it's his way of putting his opponent in a nap. He had an undefeated streak before. Many challengers tried to end it in store. Samoa Joe loves a throwdown, seeking the title that will become his crown. Alright, my friends, get ready as I show you the picture of Samoa Joe during his TNA days. This is him, my friend. This is him, my friends. The Samoan submission machine. The Samoan submission machine. Samoa Joe. That's right. And I believe this will end for today's video this morning, which is now 5:30, but now 5:31 a.m. in the morning. So I will make another one next time when I write more poems, and I hope this one that I made for you guys today, I hope it's something that you guys can check out for yourselves while you're at home looking for something to do, and try to keep yourself busy and try to get your mind off the epidemic that's still going on. So please don't worry, this will come to an end soon. I promise you, no one is going to be fading away from this, because we care about being healthy. We care about staying safe, staying healthy, staying hand sanitized, and staying germ free as ever. That's why we have to wash our hands. And the whole news, the entire world, the entire news team has been telling us to wash our hands, because they're very important. They keep you germ free, especially when you use hand sanitizer. So remember that. Use hand sanitizer and wash your hands, definitely, very importantly, so you can keep yourself germ free at all times. Thank you for your time. I hope this kept you guys. Actually, I want to say, I hope you guys. Actually, I want to say this. I hope I kept you guys I hope I kept you guys occupied and try to get your mind off. I hope I helped you get your mind off of this epidemic thing. And like I said, stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean, and please stay germ free as ever. Thank you for your time, and have a very beautiful morning.